Well, now, just looking at the horses as they move to the barrier, there has been another change of rider. In number 19, Stewart is now being ridden by G. Doughty and not A. Cooper. G. Doughty is riding number 19, Stewart, instead of A. Cooper. Righto, Clem, they're up there, and we have the second event coming up over 1,200 metres. And I've just been talking to Ron King, the racecourse manager, on the old controversy, those for the outside, those for the inside. I think they'll make up their minds when they jump, Clem, don't you?
I'm sure they will, and if you've drawn the outside, you've got no option, really, but to go to the outside. But there have been a lot of theories expressed as to which is the better, if there's any difference. Ron King says there's no difference. But, Peter, you've got a theory that does hold water.
Well, it dates back many, many years, Clem, and when a hot northerly wind is blowing, you know, a gale force, and as it was on Saturday in extreme heat conditions, the outside is always the best. And so it proved in the Newmarket, and they ran, what, 1:08.5, which is fantastic time. And what, the first three place getters came from down the outside. In fact, I think Gleaming Waters, who ran fifth, was also drawn out.
Would you like to poke your finger out and see which way the wind's blowing?
Yeah. I'm sorry, there's no wind. But the rail is in its normal position, and I would think that most of the field will head for the rail today, and that's why I probably lean against horses like Sports Ruler and Lead Roll. They're drawn 22 and 23 respectively, and I reckon they've got their job ahead of them. Certainly, if they can win from out there, well, they're much better than I thought they were.
But if you've drawn out there, you've really got to stay out. If you're out about 20 out, you're almost compelled to go to the outside.
No, you're not compelled at all, well, Clem. You can head for the inside. Horses can slide across. They've got, what, 6 furlongs, 1,200 metres to do it gradually, and also the horses on the inside invariably lead anyway, and you can make your way across. You don't have to lead from the outside, but I wouldn't think there'd be many horses come down the outside today.
Well, I don't think there's any difference between the track. It's obviously just the wind, as you mentioned, that makes a difference. I mean, the track's prepared equally on one side as it is on the other, as Ron King explained.
I agree with Ron King, most certainly, and results have, you know, in the past have proved that. But at the same time, when there is a hot northerly wind, they always seem to win down the outside.
So today there's no northerly, so we can look for those on the inside.
I'll be most surprised if number 1 doesn't win. I'm talking through my pity. Through my pocket and pity.
Now listen, Peter, in this race we've got Gurner's Lane out, Brash Prince is wearing the all-white, Durban a red cap, and the other stablemate Win a Battle white with black striped sleeves, the second emergency set.
When they jump, Clem, you'll get an excellent view here, head on, and see how many horses do head for the outside.
Yes, that should be a good indication. After they've travelled about 100 metres, they'll decide which way they're going.
Exactly.
Well, Peter, let's go across to our 1050s and take a look as they walk in now for race 2.
I agree.
Now, runners are moving forward for a start in the March Nursery. Big field of 24. The public fancy in the race. Anyone home is drawn favourably, according to Peter Lovett, in stall 1, Brent Thompson in the saddle. Platan, who's been well tried. The latest in the total situation is that Anyone Home's now $2.60 for the win. Sports Rule is $4.20. Platan open $7.70 into $5.60. $5.60 Platan. Lead Roll at $5. And number 16, Fox Bay, opened at $87, is now into $30. So Fox Bay has been well tried from the Tommy Hughes stable into $30 for the win, $6.30 for the place. Fox Bay could be one keeping your peepers on. Number 16, Fox Bay, has drawn barrier 8. Well, the runners are walking forward pretty well at the start of the 1,200 metres March Nursery. Another standing out is Win the Battle, black with white with black striped sleeves. Win the Battle is walking around near the outside. About to come forward with Sports Ruler. A Ferocious Gambler being led up to about stall 12. Goes in. Win the Battle goes in on the outside, and they're set. Big field, 24 runners. Oh gee, a couple of boys a bit anxious. Light on. can hear the riders. And hear the crash as they're racing now. Playtan jumped fairly down near the inside with anyone home. Kalino King is showing speed. Playtan looking for the lead, and Fox Bay's going quickly. Fox Bay going very quickly, swept across the inside division to lead. And you can see we've got two divisions now. Coming from the flat side first, Fox Bay the leader. Playtan moving up second and showing speed on the outside was Chrono Star to be handily placed too. Wider on the track was Buoyant Lad, Zanzibar showing speed. And in that leading pack on the flat slide is Tyab King as they go to the crossing. They've led on the flat side though. Coming down the outside showing speed is Big Future, who's handily placed with Lead Roll and Sports Ruler. Coming on towards the course proper, 500 metres left to go now. Playtan has grabbed the lead from Fox Bay. Anyone home coming at them, three wide on the flat side. Wider out was Tyab King. Coming down the outside, Lead Roll, and with it is Sports Ruler. 300 metres left to go, and it's pretty hard to sort them out. Down wide on the track, Lead Roll might have grabbed the lead. I fancy it has. 200 to go, Lead Roll on the outside. The leader from Anyone Home fighting back on the fence, and then Playtan. They're right across the track. Lead Roll on the extreme outside, and Anyone Home on the rails. Lead Roll on the outside, and Anyone Home, they drive to the line, and Lead Roll on the outside beat Anyone Home. Third, probably Sports Ruler from Playtan. Royal Century down the outside. Not a bad run. Tiverton. Fox Bay was next with Gujarat. They're followed by Buoyant Lad and then Tyab King, Kalino King behind them. Gap 2, St Andrew's Star. They're followed then well back in the field by Brash Prince. And a gap 2 by Onyx Show, and then Stewart well back in the field. Was Ferocious Gambler one of the last to pull up, with Chrono Star one of the last, and Win a Battle last. Well, Peter, Lead Roll. Number 7, Lead Roll.
And down the outside almost by itself, Clem.
I'll tell you what, that was a difficult one to sort out. You had two good horses dressed right across the track, and even when they went past the binoculars, it was about the first time you thought, well, Lead Roll's definitely in front. I fancied 300 out, but they'll...
Well, once Anyone Home reached the lead from the horses on the rail, you would be excused for thinking the race was all over, particularly looking at it from a television angle. But up here in the box, where we've got a magnificent view, there was no doubt that number 2's ran third. That's Sports Ruler.
Again down the outside. Now, this makes it pretty even. Well, you've got first on the outside, second on the inside, third on the outside.
You fixed my theories up completely.
I thought of that when they bounced out. Well, there, you can see them, how difficult it can be, though. They're stretched right across the track.
Pat Holland didn't even go for the whip, Clem. You can see him riding hands and heels there, and it suggests that a filly called Lemongrass is pretty smart, because I think they met in the Merson Cooper Stakes from memory back in October, and Lemongrass killed Lead Roll, and they the Terry Miller stable put a lot of money on Lead Roll.
But Lead Roll went via the Cape on the turn, if you recall.
It ran off at the home turn, that's right.
Peter, would you like to check the tote dividends? The interim dividends pending correct weight on the second event on the program. The winner, number 7, Lead Roll.
Naturally, this is for $1. $5.
No, for 50 cents, thank you.
Oh.
For 50 cents. $2.55 for the win, 75 cents the place. Second, One Anyone Home paid 70 cents. And third, number 2, Sports Ruler, paid 65 cents. Interim dividends pending correct weight for 50 cents. The Quinella has paid $3.40, $3.40. And the double for $1 has paid $213.40, and the trifecta for $1, $54.20. So you have the tote dividends on the second event on the program. Fox Bay showed a lot of speed. There was a bit of money for Fox Bay at long odds.
Well, if you recall, Clem, Fox Bay was heavily backed at its first start. I think it started 5-1 or something, and it disappointed very much. But I would keep my eye on Fox Bay, because where there's smoke, there's fire.
I found another one through my 1050s too. Tiverton only started twice before today, 4th of 9 at Victoria Park, 10th of 14th at Caulfield. I suppose it's run about 6th or 7th, but it wasn't a bad run deep on the same.
Well, when you consider they've run 1:10.6, that's not bad time, Clem. And the winner virtually did it by itself, 1:10.6.
Well, really the fancied candidates ran first, second, third and fourth, with Playtan running 5th. Royal Century split them.
I'm wondering if Mr. Sangster, if he was here at Flemington, whether he thinks Anyone Home's worth $155,000, because that's what it cost.
I think Anyone Home might be even better, though, over a slightly longer journey, but he can be held up a bit. I think he might run better over that 1,400 metres.
Well, Brent Thompson did hold him up.
Yeah, but they're running
remember, he didn't get to the front until the 300 metres or 250 metres from home. and he gave him the run of the race, slap bang against the running rail, and he dived on those two horses without any trouble.
Did you notice who was in front when they went over the crossing?
The inside horses.
That's what I thought.
Yes, they were. If you watch the replay, particularly where you see the dust go up.
Well, that's what I think I mentioned, the inside in front, but then by the time they'd reached the course proper, the positions were probably reversed.
Yeah, but I was looking at it visually where you're using your glasses. How do you see one side and the other at the same time, Clem?
Well, a big sweep of the glasses straight across. Well, Pete, let's check the first tote dividends, or the first signified on course from the TAB on race 3, the Blood Horse Breeders' Plate. 1, Neptune Princess, $3.80. This, of course, for $1. 2, Darling Take Care, $9.90. 3, Now Then, the favourite at $2.80. 4, Winona Princess, $7.70. 5, Scarlet Rhythm, $24.10. 6, Takeover, $22.30. 7, Volley Dream. Their Spain fancied Volley Dream this morning, $13.80. Number 8, Urana Star, $38.50. 9, Arvilla, $22.40. 10, Cherry Park, $167. 11, I'm Charming, $223. 12, Maiden Century, $46. 13, Queen's Road, $298. 14, Rose of Century, $66.30. 15, St. Caroline, $125. And 16, Tristany, $23. They're the opening totes on race 3, the Blood Horse Breeders' Plate.
I would suggest, Clem,
Yes.
that David Haynes would be very disappointed. You calling Rose of Kingston Rose of Century.
The Rose of Kingston.
Yeah, it carries the Kingston Town colours. He'd kill you.
Well, that was correct weight. Weight is correct. Correct weight. Those dividends now stand after the running of race 2, the March Nursery Handicap numbers 7, 1 and 2, correct weight.